your seed.
Why?
Well, to sleep with it.
And as you fall, Enwin is still on his feet. The rest of you fall and break all of the tables inside of the Cheshire Club. To which Bo goes, "Come on!"
Best day ever!
Group, though. He would work with the group because he likes Cass, and that would just be really, really awkward on the battlefield.
What?
I don't think that's an awkward. Perfect person to protect Cass. I
Wait,
like
what?
it. Let's go.
I'm still here.
I don't need protection.
I'm still here.
I know you are, sweetie.
Chris,
It's okay.
shh. The adults are talking. Shh.
Oh,
One
alright.
second, buddy.
I like it. I'm gonna. What do you
Chris
think
likes
of
Cass?
I like
What have you been?
Ibs was a little pretentious.
Abs was
And
my
for
favorite.
me.
I like Bob.
Thanks, Perry.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Are you gonna leave?
Yeah, the crew needs me.
You go, and I'm gonna stay right here.
Oh my god.
And he nods his head. And he nods his head and walks you over to the door. Just sort of opens the door.
Oh man.
There was mouth stuff poison? Oh yeah.
No smell stuff.
That came out wrong, sorry.
Sorry. I couldn't not laugh.
A person has died, Ryan. A little decorum,
Death
please.
due to mouth stuff. Come on. Get over it.
I'll go home
Smack
now.
him across the face. I'm like, wake up.
All right, you smack Ryan across the face. We're set up in these stands or floating above the water. Have never seen a ship cross the finish line, but first. And they all watch as the first thing they see is Monkey C. Written along the side of the ship, crossing and backwards. And you have crossed the finish line. Congratulations, crew. You have won the first high lock race for the briefest of seconds. Let them be. Let them love and hurt and change and tell stories and die fighting and pouring drinks and doing the right thing even though it hurts. Just let them be. We can give them that. What's going on, Indigo Chameleon audience? It's me, your good buddy Scribe, here to remind you of the fun ways that you can interact here on Indigo Chameleon, even when we're not streaming. One, we've got an amazing Discord. Come and hang out with us. We would love to have you there. You can find some inspiration if you need it. There's memes. There's even like fun ways for you to be like the first one to know when we're looking for players for a remote one-shot or a one-shot located here at Indigo Chameleon Studios. So please come and hang out with us on the Discord. We would love to have you. We also have a merch store. Yeah, it's a chance for you, the dear viewer, to help us represent the brand a little bit. There's t-shirts, there's mugs, there's prints, there's shower curtains. So I hear one day you will be mine, shower curtain. So yeah, thank you so much for all your support. And as always, there's always a spot here at the table for you. You are the 7th player at this spot. You can use stream points by clicking that little karma right at the bottom of your screen, right where the chat is, one of those sides. You can do that and earn stream points. Every time you tune in, you help us raid, you spread the word, donate bits. That, well, I don't know about spreading the word, it'd be hard to track that, but all of those other things will help you earn stream points that you can use to help your players when they need it the most. Thank you all so much for all your support. Indigo Connect, and hey.
Sit back, dear friends, and hear the tale, when fairies flew and ships did sail. You know the stories often told, of Peter Pan, both brave and bold, of Tinkerbell, clever and smart, of evil men born black of heart, adventure and treasure buried in sand, time held its breath in Neverland. But darkness fell on the island fair, A sickness rose of no compare, each creature and plant fell one by one, no respite found for anyone. So the island died, its people scattered, those left behind, broken and battered. Years went by, no end in sight. Then through the darkness came new light. The island breathes and life returns. Within our heroes a fire burns. The drive to find those who are lost, to build a home at any cost. Join pixies, skeletons, a mermaid or two. Healers, never boys, and lost boys too. They're here each week, new stories told. So pull up a chair and never grow old.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to Cats the Musical, the game. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's game. It is Friday night. We don't have to change your name at all. It's Friday night. We're gonna play a little D&D. Your name is
Got it, Thistle.
Yeah,
Cat,
it's
Thistle.
okay.
It's Friday. It's been a long week.
welcome to Friday, where it's a long month today. We had a few announcements that happened. If you were watching, that really handsome guy that was before, that looks a lot like Ryan,
Which one?
whose name doesn't rhyme with Ryan. But there was also another handsome guy before that. It was talking about announcements. And we have a Discord. You can come hang out in the Discord all you want. And we have lots of memes and cool stuff in the Discord. For you to explore, including inspiration and cool like DM stuff if you're DMing your own game. We also have other campaigns on the channel, as well as a merch store. The merch store has cool stuff like mugs.
And my personal favorite, now that we have that government stimulus check, I have no excuse not to get those shower curtains.
Yeah. That's right. Folks, a lot of people are going to argue. Use your stimulus check for things like rent and food. I say to those people, nay. Nay.
Shower curtains.
Buy something purdy for yourself.
Like shower curtains?
Like wait, no, that didn't work at all.
Like a switch light.
Like a
Animal
switch light.
Crossing.
And decorate that switch light with an Indigo Chameleon sticker that you buy from
Bring it around.
So many things with the Indigo community.
Aw,
Or you could listen to Magnoth. You could just listen
Or you
to
can
Magnoth.
listen to Magnoth, who's pretty great. I already paid my bills. Thank you.
Exactly.
You did the thing.
At that point, it's all your money.
Updated schedule for this week. Tonight, we have Neverland. Tomorrow night, we don't have anything going on, but there is a possibility that Icky V is going to be streaming. So I would encourage you to go watch something over there, or you can go watch any number of shows that are tabletop gamers. But yes, I see the resounding yes from Icky V. So go check her out. She's got some good D&D content, and we love her. So that's on Saturday. On Sunday, we actually have our one-shot. We had to down our one-shot this week due to technical difficulties, but this is the continuation of our Neverland one-shot that has some pretty...
Three-shot?
It's a 3-shot. It's a 1-shot, 3-shot, blue shot, red shot. So tune in on Sunday for that. On Tuesday, we go back to Wonderland as we, as the heroes once again find themselves in a very precarious situation in a room filled with people after last week's adventure. A character who shall not be named.
I did not start the fight.
Saw a wagon going by and went, I have an idea to stop this wagon. And threw herself in front of the wagon.
I removed my leg first.
She removed her leg first. So it was a weird game last week, but I encourage you to watch it. A lot of our episodes are on Twitch.
So many tools at your disposal.
I'm making Wonder t-shirts that the back just says everything's fine.
I would wear that shirt.
I know you would. But if you put it under a black light, the shirt's on fire.
Done.
There.
Thursday, we go back to the Lost Isle. Lost Isle is an awesome game that mixes time travel and D&D and historical fiction. Currently, the group has met with Mr. Tesla during the Tesla Expo in the late 1800s and have been invited to dinner to dine with him as he needs some help fixing a portal. And our claim to fame in this one, we have a guest star for this particular arc, and he's playing the very first playable character, Illithid, that I have added into our little
Nikola
group.
Tesla himself. He's coming down the screen.
Garrison, spoilers. Come on, man. I can't tell you anything. Tesla's the beholder. Edison's the Illithid.
Oh.
I mean, what? So,
What?
so tune in for that on Thursday. And everybody in the chat that's hanging out, thank you so much. Icky V, Wolfgarin, Indigo Gma, everybody that was building up the hype train. FML, I think, was in there. Thank you guys so much. Your love gives us strength. And you too, Grim. Hi, good morning.
I'm more upset that Lost Isle gets to fight a beholder before we do, but like, whatever.
If you want to, I didn't think you were high enough level, but all right. I need to make a couple of notes real quick.
No.
Don't
No.
listen to him.
Cal goes for a beholder
Don't.
by himself.
Once
We have to start. Shh.
upon a time in Neverland, our group of heroes has stumbled upon a group of individuals in Neverland dedicated to bringing about the end of the Mother Mimic. And they met this ragtag group of rebellious fighters in the most magical of all places, a theme park after close. Some of the group saw the merits in what are the leader of this group of individuals, known as Seth, later found out to be Persephone. They saw what she was laying down, and they were like, yeah. A couple of the individuals in the group were like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna say thanks, but no thanks. But after a ritual that tied together the life essence and the will of those that stayed behind, those that did join in with the order have seen that they are bestowed with a brand new sight into this world. A faint magical glow that begins to grow around creatures, almost like a residual detect magic spell that allows them to see into the deeper imagery behind the curtain. Our heroes met a cavalcade of characters last week. Some of them that they immediately were drawn to, and some not. But that's okay. They can't all be winners. But they did meet Meeks. Meeks is a teenage girl, long black hair, who is representing the Neverland Earth side of things, claiming that her mother sent her as a guardian of Neverland to look after it. And Meeks has joined along with the group as the group heads back to the Bazaar, where underneath is a hub for the Mother Mimic, where their plans are to rescue an animal. And that is where we are going to pick up tonight's episode. So, heroes. Heroes, I have a couple of things. One, it's going to take a few days travel because you are returning back to the same spot you did before. Following video game rules, I was fine with implementing fast travel, especially because you've been the path, you have nothing that you would like to do. But I will say this, I do want to give you some time. So we'll say that it takes a few days' time from where you all are to get back to the Bazaar. So let's do a brief breakdown. While you are traveling in this space, I'm going to assume that some of the natural stuff, like keeping watch, looking out for the ship and for everyone on it, still occurs. But what are you doing with some of the downtime? When you're not on watch, when you're not there, what are some of the things that your characters are doing? Let's start with you, Slowpoke. What are you doing during this time?
I grab a broom, and I, curling.
I'm a little familiar.
I start playing the game of curling with Slower Poke as my puck.
This is why Scribe doesn't make choices for us.
Do you know the game curling? Are you just assuming you're just pushing your turtle with a stick? Not a euphemism.
Play more hockey.
Curling.
Yeah.
If you ask for a curler, they may disagree.
Okay.
But Slowpoke definitely knows what curling is.
Give me a d20 and add your dex to see how far you advance in the game of curling.
Okay, so it's a nat 1.
Okay. All right. You are so remarkably bad at this, Slowpoke. You spend your days thinking that you're good, but every time you hit Slowpoke, it doesn't matter with what velocity, the lightest touch, Slowpoke goes flying off the ship. And you are constantly having to dive off of the rail, fly, catch him, and bring him back. And it is just, everyone is in awe at how remarkably bad.
See, what Slowpoke doesn't realize is that curling and shot put are not the same.
No, he does not. So
I'm going for distance.
Yeah. You can't go the distance. So that is what Slowpoke does with his time. Thank you, Des. Des, what are you doing with your time aboard the ship?
Who all of the new people is on the ship?
Currently, right now, the only person aboard the ship that's new is Meeks. Meeks is here. Hugh is here. There's a slight contingent of the undead. Gargi is here. But any of the other individuals that you met before are no longer aboard the ship.
Okay. I'll go keep Gargi company.
Okay. You spend your next few days serving the Dark Lord. As he prepares meals and cleans. And give me a d20 and give me a wisdom roll. So you're just going to add a d20 and add your wisdom to that, Des.
16.
You know what? Spending a little bit of time with Gargi, you get really worried the first day where he's like, the way to clean toilets is with a darkness in your soul that really gets at the darkness in the bowl. And you get really worried that but Gargi surprisingly has an astute knowledge of poisons.
That's what I'm thinking.
But Gargi's dealing with poisons is taking ordinary objects and mixing them together and turning them into poison. So rather than catching harmful creatures, which could bite Gargi takes regular, ordinary items and is able to do that. So I'm actually going to give you a. Do you have? What would be your poison making stuff?
I have potion making stuff.
You have poison. So how about this? After your few days with Gargi, you can add a permanent +1 to any poison check rolls. Okay. Just after you're spending a little bit of time.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Cal, let's go with you. Yeah, of course. Cal, what about you? What are you doing with your time aboard the ship?
I'm doing what I want to do in the dungeon. I'm trying to learn how to load the pistol better.
Okay, you're taking so while everybody else is doing stuff, you're doing shots.
Yeah, essentially.
In character and out character.
But I was running low on black powder. I'm sure I can talk to you and maybe get some more.
Sure. Yeah. So how about this? Give me an attack roll using the statistics of the gun that you have. You have proficiency. Give me an attack roll using those statistics.
Ain't bad. It's not terrible. 18.
18. Yeah, you spend your days really concentrating on this. For the time being, Cal, normally it is a bonus action in order to reload the pistol. It's a one-shot. For now, after spending a little bit of time and working on the speed loading and stuff like that and handling it better, a bonus action will handle 2 rounds of the gun. So you have gotten so fast that a bonus action, you can fire, and you will have a bonus action, but on your next turn, after another fire, you will have to use a bonus action to reload. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Cliff, what about you?
Clip is spending a lot of time by herself these days.
Okay.
She's doing a lot of praying to both Gaia and Ares. She's making a lot of choices, and she's not sure if they're good ones.
Are you just like, hey, like I wanna spread the wealth a little bit, like, or are you concentrating on Gaia and like it's Tuesday, today's a Gaia day, or like I'm not feeling Cal, so I'm gonna pray to Ares today. Like it's like how does that?
She would really try to give each equal attention. Like if she does one prayer to Gaia, she does one to Ares, back and forth. But I feel like at the moment she has more of a connection to Ares, so she might pay more attention to her than to Gaia.
Do me a favor and roll a d20 and add your wisdom as well for this one, as you are reaching out.
What?
You polyamorous to God?
You know what? If it was gonna be anyone, it's gonna be me. 22.
22. You spend the week, or spend the next few days praying and just spending time in quiet meditation and contemplation, trying to pay each their proper deference.
She's not really asking for anything. It's just she's still confused about everything. She's trying to get more of her own grounding, I guess.
Okay, this is an odd thing with the 22. Audie, I need you to make a note in your character sheet.
Notes.
And you need to let me know the first time you make a death saving throw.
Okay.
Welcome to the club about death saves.
Okay, mine is an automatic fail.
Well, I didn't say what kind of club it was. I'm just saying it's some modified
It's a
death
club.
roll.
Welcome to a club. This club sucks. Didn't say it was a good one. Bye. All right.
I like my instant death fail.
And now, Thistle.
Okay, first of all.
Oh God, and start.
First of all, is Grandma's totem a one-time use item?
It is not.
It's not. Okay, well then,
It is
but
once
I'm guessing
per
it's a
long
once
rest.
a day.
Yes.
It didn't say it in there, so I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay, so I am spending the next few days once a day, praying to Grandma's totem so she can make a whole bunch of cookies. 10 of them.
Okay.
I'm making a stockpile.
I want you guys to be aware that Thistle has a little totem that she got at the last time she was at the Bazaar, and once a day she prays to the totem, and a grandmother manifests aboard the deck of the ship. Her name is Agnes. Agnes spends a bit of time making cookies and and Thistle is slowly building a stockpile of cookies.
Lemon on them. Very yum-yums.
I'm sharing them, but also I'm stockpiling them because they're also healing cookies.
Okay.
I'm also becoming besties with Meeks and the zombies.
I mean,
I was already besties with the zombies, but
okay, so the cookies do not stack.
They don't stack.
I'm not going to give you an infinite number of healing
That's
potions.
why I asked. It's only 1d8 per cookie.
Yes, but how many? You said you spend the
I
next
get
few
like
days.
10.
You were going to make 30 cookies that do 1d8 of healing each.
So that's all I needed to know is they don't like last overnight.
They do not.
Okay.
These cookies are magical.
Well, that's okay. I'm still going to share them with everybody on the ship, and they're going to be amazing. And
Equally?
well, no, whoever like.
You're,
She's not gonna think about fairness. She's just gonna like.
you're a
cookies to
child,
people.
so basically, I have a plate of cookies.
I'm eating a lot of them. Okay.
If anybody asks me for a cookie, I will share it with them, but I'm not going to announce to them that I have a plate of cookies.
I'm mostly giving the cookies to the zombies.
Okay. I just imagine you being like,
Yes. Meeks is also getting some.
you take no damage, but you feel the cookie's healing magic radiate through your body.
We're probably also playing cards a lot, but I'm not going to keep any arms or legs or rib bones permanently.
Okay.
Permanently.
You're,
Agnes.
you're playing Dead Man's Hand
Yes,
and having lots of cookies with Agnes.
it's amazing. No, cookies with Meeks. Agnes just gives me the cookies. She is the cookie supplier.
Got it. Got it. All right. You and Meeks every night get filled up with cookies.
It's delicious.
It's pretty great. That is going. I will say that you have 10 of these cookies.
When I get off the ship.
When you get off the ship.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yep. As everyone spends a few days getting to know one another, you notice that Eris, for the most part, spends a bunch of time in the crow's nest. She comes down for meals and she talks with you all, and she seems pleasant. But when she's not visiting with people, she is up in the crow's nest, scoping out the horizon and things of that sort. After a few days, as you get closer and closer to the Bazaar, when you see it off in the distance, it is early one morning, and Eris runs over to you, Clip, and lets you know that she needs to run a small errand. She needs to go get something, but she promises that she'll meet back up with the group when she's able to.
Okay, I trust you.
Okay. She takes a few steps away and then comes running back and gives you a big hug, and then flies off into the morning sky. Okay. Hugh looks a little teary-eyed as he gets close to this area, and you notice that Hugh is looking a little sad. As you guys get close, as he's come to love and his time spent with you guys, and the first mate of the Dragonfly flies you over to where your ship is docked, where you see, essentially, it's like when you come home and the animals in your house start freaking out. Everybody runs out to the deck of the ship, and they're just jumping around and running, and they got the zoomies, which is fine, except every time Anchor gets the zoomies, the ship kind of wobbles a little bit.
My boy.
Yeah. But you were led back to the Monkey Sea. Yeah. They're jumping up and down. But Hugh comes out and shakes each of your hands and says, "Thank you so much for being with us and showing our captain off the right time." Hugh takes a few steps backward, and Gargi comes waddling forward, and he goes, "I've killed my fair share of heroes in the past, and it's a part of my life I'm not particularly proud of, but it is what it is. I hate you less than I hated them."
Isn't that guys? He likes us.
I didn't say that, Skeleton Man. I said I hated you less. I've grown fond of your smells.
I always like cooking.
I will miss your musk, human. The way you smacked your turtle.
Don't worry, he likes it.
He will walk up to you, Des Bahai, and holds you out a little whistle. It looks like a little boat whistle. So, should you ever need my help, blow the whistle.
Does that mean the entire ship will come here?
I mean, if I'm in hearing range, but chances,
Oh.
chances are you could probably just yell. if that's the case.
I blow into it.
Well, I'm right here. Do you need something?
To see if it works.
It's not magical. I wouldn't give you a broken whistle.
All right, good to know.
Although that would be evil of me. Anyway, have fun!
Before Cal leaves, he'd probably go up to Hugh one last time and just ask if he knew anything about, like, the other 7 captains and maybe who am I impersonating.
Who are you impersonating?
Or who have I taken the spot of? Because him being a pirate, I assume he knows something about the inner circles.
Hugh puts a hand on your shoulder and says, yeah, big guy, here's the problem. You didn't take the place of anybody. Don't worry about meeting them. Once they find out that you represented them, they'll meet with you.
Cool.
So, they're all different parts. I mean, you really want to get into it?
Yeah.
You got any gold?
Yeah, I got some.
Hugh holds a hand out. I got undead mouths to feed.
Yeah, I know that. I'm one of them.
I understand.
I want to find out about pirates. I hand him how much gold does he want? 5? I want pirate info. I give him 7, 1 for each pirate captain.
Yeah, I'll match that.
He's got 14 gold. He puts it in his pocket. He's like, technically, you guys already killed one.
Davy Jones.
Oh yeah. Hey, no, I killed Davy Jones. Am I the pirate captain?
Well, technically, your ship killed Davy Jones.
Yeah.
If rumor is true. So your ship is the captain.
But I'm captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell the ship that.
Listen, man, I don't get into politics. All right, like however you want to handle stuff is fine.
Is there any one other than like, what do you feel is the most? What's the worst of the 7?
Hugh thinks about it for a second.
Because rumor has it, with my luck, it's the person that I've impersonated.
Hugh thinks about it for a second and goes, so they all walk around, right? They're all present, except for one.
Okay.
One of them got bad. One of them got so bad that he tried to take over the other 6, demanding that they relinquish their ships to him. There was a big battle, and this is way, way back in the day. This is about I don't even know how far back. So these other 6 captains got into this heated war with this guy, and all I know is he had this like red beard, and it was like so red that it almost looked like it had like flames coming off of it. So the only way that they could put this guy down is the 6 pirates ganging up together, and they literally put him on ice.
Okay, so I think would Slowpoke know this story because of the Lost Boys like war with the pirates?
Absolutely. I don't know if you would have joined up in the pirate wars as the captains are fighting each other and stuff like that. You would know. Give me history checks. Is everybody gathered around at this point?
Yeah, I think we're all still there.
All right, let's get into some cool stuff then. Anybody that's
my percentile roll?
Yes, it's worth it for your percentile roll.
I have a -1 to history, so that's a 17.
A 17 with a -1. Slowpoke.
Oh, am I rolling?
Give me history check at advantage, pal. This ties right into you.
Mine's a 17.
A 17 for Clip.
Yeah.
19 for Dez.
19 for Dez. All right, I'll be kind. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about one of the ships that's currently out there, or a rumor that you've heard. Thistle, you've encountered one of the ships before because it's chock-a-block with Never Boys that left.
Ooh.
As she says this, a switch flips in everybody's head, and you immediately harken back to women running on the water.
Dang it.
Oh!
Almost as if your DM has been dropping breadcrumbs this whole time.
Crazy.
Slowpoke, you harken back to a story that you have heard. The only reason you have heard it is your particular group deals with monster hunting. It's a subsect of Neverland that you were part of. And there is a ship upon the waters. You're not sure which sea captain it was. But you don't have to fear the crew itself. You have to fear the ship, which eats and has gnashing teeth. And apparently, it's the only mimic that's been cut off from the source, that's decided to be independent. Captained by a one Dimitri, who sails around on the mimic ship.
I was like, I'd have to kill Dimitri now.
He's everywhere.
Dez, your particular backstory and area of expertise has led you to a ship that stays away, that Dimitri does get around, away from the combat side of things. The ship that you are familiar with is called the Belle of Lost Souls.
Ooh.
If you die at sea, rather than permanently haunting the waters upon you are in, if you are lucky enough, the Belle of Lost Souls will pick you up. It is a ghost ship. It is not undead. Like, it is a literal, like, ship that picks up those that have been lost at sea and don't wish to leave it. Okay.
Okay.
Clip, which one do I want to give you? I don't know how you would encounter any of these other ships with a 17.
Don't know.
Someone on the coast.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's get weird with it.
All right, let's go.
The animals have oft talked before you were there of a completely anthropomorphic crew that sails the seven seas. No humans allowed on the boat, no humans allowed to participate as a crew member or a captain, only animals. Sentient animals that are given somewhat stability, but the crew is formed mainly of anthropomorphic animals that walk around, wear clothes, stuff like that.
Did we get a name for that ship?
The anthropomorphic one?
Yeah.
Not with a 17. The fact that you would understand this at the fact that Clip, who's been landlocked her entire life, talked to an animal, and I have to justify why she would get a 17 in history.
I got a +1 in history.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But I'm also trying to figure out, like, you just started reading a week, like 2 weeks ago. Like,
Absolutely fair. I just finished my first book.
you would be the person in this class that gets the most advanced award, because you went from, like, talking to animals to having people friends to, like, I know the universe. Like,
MVP.
Cal?
Might be most improved player.
I got a 70.
A 70.
No, your issue's like plus what?
Huh?
He got a 70 on a D20. That's insane.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? I haven't rolled percentile dice in so many episodes. Figures might as well do it.
I don't like that face.
Concern.
Oh, okay.
Should I roll a wisdom save?
No.
Oh God.
How deep do you want me to dive on this one? Can you handle it?
Nope, which means absolutely. Let's go ahead.
Your dad is one, but he took it from your mom.
What?
You,
Excuse me?
you would have a flash of the memory aboard a ship with your mother and your birth mother, I say birth mother, locked in a battle where he won and took it from her. And by proxy took you.
Oh.
What?
Wait, who? Oh my God.
I think I just beat Eris in like the most messed up family.
I win.
Let this be a lesson to all of you. If I ask you to write a backstory and you say do whatever you want with it, I'm going to do whatever I want with it.
I am.
Because
the board.
Because when Ryan was creating this character and he goes, he doesn't remember anything, and I'm like, anything? He was like, nope, have fun. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, what could happen? So
this has been the best roller coaster ever. I'm so happy with it.
You don't know who she is. You don't know who she is.
Okay.
Your birth mother. It was taken from her, and now Hook is one of the 7 Seas.
Okay.
Got it?
This is amazing. Whoa!
Twist.
Do we all share?
With amnesia, not original.
Wait, say that again, Slowpoke?
Do we all share our little tales of Pirate Captain Wool with each other?
Oh, yeah.
I would share mine.
Cal, do we hear any of this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Slowpoke goes, what? No, I just want to hit him with an arrow, not a sword, a fist.
Let me talk to
Another
you.
sword.
And a foot.
And a foot. Des's foot. I want to use Des's foot.
And his good hands?
What?
Nothing.
I have good hands and feet.
For hitting.
First of all. So write that down.
I've got good hands. Oh.
Well, that's your own fault, mate.
Oh, you're getting into the lingo.
What?
Did Des just say mate?
Well. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
I just did a bad thing.
I would like to say it's not all bad.
Why did I do?
Okay, what's the good?
I get advantage on hitting things.
Wow.
You-
What's the bad thing?
So we're here at the bazaar, right?
Oh, yeah.
So after this conversation, Hugh is less sad to see you go. As you reveal your sordid backstories with one another, and what information that you've gleaned. You spend a tiny bit of time aboard your ship, the Monkey Sea, giving hugs and kisses, and then it's that weird moment of like racing home to walk the dog, and then being like, well, I gotta go, bye. Like, as they all just are like, you just got here, as they look at board the ship as you walk out.
I tell them that Eris went on an errand and she'll be back.
We're there with our elementals, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say you do a quick stop in to say hello. As you were dropped off at your ship, the crafty dragonfly begins to fly off back into the sky. Meeks is there and is sort of chomping at the bit, jumping from one.
I'm gonna poison my axe.
Okay.
Or no, I'm gonna put it into a vial so I can use it later.
Okay. Yeah. So
Going
you,
to-
go ahead.
I introduce Meeks to Anchor. That's very important for me.
Okay.
Because like, whoa.
Yeah, Meeks is all of our elementals.
You bring Meeks close to the ship, Clip. And you're like,
We're the crew.
You should come and see our ship. And Meeks says no.
Why not?
It's I don't want to be weak.
Oh,
Don't understand.
you're connected to the Earth, right?
Oh.
Your ship is very nice. It's just it's not part of everything. It's like different.
Okay. Anchor, wave at Meeks. That's Anchor.
And she kind of like she looks over at you and she kind of goes, grr, 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 grr.
That was a very good impression.
Thanks. Is that your ship too?
Mm-hmm. I really want to introduce you to Soup, but you can't come on the ship.
Yeah.
So I might have to get Soup to come down here.
Maybe if I'm just like, maybe after a bit more time. I just have to be ready to be like, not with any of my abilities.
He poops fruit.
Let's go on the ship. She takes your hand. She like takes your hand and like you walk with her on the ship and she doesn't let go of your hand and she's kind of squeezing really like uncomfortably tight. But she goes up to Anchor and she's seeing Anchor and you see just a little bit of the color of her face begin to drain while she's on the ship and stuff like that. She still looks like the same person, but she just looks like she might be coming down with something. The longer. Yeah. But she meets everybody. She has a good time with the gunpowder elementals and spends a little time with them as they all climb into your chest. And she actually comes up and she's the first person that you've ever seen get close and like kiss, try to kiss the poisoned one. And you manage to like put it. Yeah. And you're like, no. Yeah, it burns. Slowpoke's little buddy that's moving around and then like does the tail. She tries to like trying to shake hands with him at the same time and they do like a yeah. And as she goes over to Soup, she bends down to where Soup is, and Soup is very excited and just sort of running around spastically. And
you should see him make a watermelon.
As soon as you say that, Soup looks very excited as he goes, and as he does, he poops out a square watermelon.
Oh my god!
And looks very proud of himself and like holds hands up for a hug.
This is a terrible cannonball, but it's a really cool cube. We could sit on it.
Oh god!
I mean, it looks like
elementals haven't seen the pistol.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna find a use for this, Soup. Good job.
This is gonna be so weird for anybody just tuning in. I'm so sorry. This is the crew from Neverland. They have a ship composed of elementals that form their crew. Soup is a fruit elemental that poops fruit to help combat scurvy. Wow, we got some weird stuff sometimes, gang.
He has been very useful.
Man, we got some
Not
weird
just
stuff. I love it.
For the scurvy thing.
Yeah. So after spending a bit of time with Soup and all of the rest of your buddies, you make your way down the dock into the Bazaar. Heroes, the bazaar is bustling. Some of the same shops that you saw once before have since closed, and some of the familiar shops have changed or are still there. So for those of you that are brand new, the Bazaar is a sort of a pirate shanty town filled with odd and unique little shops. A lot of them seem to change with the coming days, but there's a bunch of them all stacked up on top of one another.
Do we want to go see if V can help?
I'm sorry?
Do we want to go see if V can help?
If V can help?
Yeah.
I will punch that man in the face if I see him again.
But I'm sure he would like to know that literally half his town is sitting on top of a mimic.
That's fair.
It's worth it for him.
Or we could go in, get the goat thing that we're looking for, get out.
I like that plan.
Let's do that. We could
Having
rescue
the
a
extra
goat.
people might help.
Having some extra people might actually help.
Well, this is just a
Well-
sneaky plan. Extra people aren't good for
Yeah,
sneaky
we're
plans.
sneaky.
We're gathering intel. Sorry, you would have known this if you were in the meeting. But we're gathering intel.
You're not sure what intel means, and Thistle and Meeks don't know what intel means either. But they're nodding their head. It's like, yes, we must find intel.
I gathered 10 intels. You can't have them. They taste delicious.
Intel. There is.
Save like an animal from the minute.
I
I'm
would
sure
like
this
to
was
go
shit.
tell V. Just let him know what's going on.
You want to
Well,
go?
we could tell
You
Well, if we're going off and spending time in the town, and then I'm just gonna go see Corey. So
Do what you like.
You can go see V. You can go see Corey. You can anything that you guys want to do. So there are lots of different. Meeks is sort of looking around, and you notice that she is a little bit out of sorts in terms of like trying to figure out what exactly she wants to do. She's looking at people, but as more and more people walk by the city, she is tracking them with her eyes, and then is immediately sort of darted over to the next individual that walks by. So she's looking around, but it looks like she's having trouble concentrating on what exactly is happening. So yeah, if you guys want to go see V, you would know the exact place where V was at before. If you want to go to one of the other shops that you visited once before and try to find out as much information as you can, you are welcome to do that as well.
Pet the dog, ring the bell. Pet the dog, ring the bell.
Pat the dog, ring the bell. So how about this? Where? Because I should have assumed that you guys are going to split up. Where are we going?
I think me and
Corey.
Cal are going to V.
Yeah, it'd be worth just to have the extra help.
Clip and Cal are going to V. No, yes. Clip and Cal are going to V. Dez is going to see Corey.
yeah.
Slowpoke, where are you going?
I want to do the mission. So if we're doing other things, I'll wait.
You're gonna stand in this spot and be like, I need an adult. Like you're just gonna wait until an adult comes to you.
Yep.
Okay. It's not narratively entertaining, but it's entertaining to me. Go ahead and take DM inspiration, buddy. as Slowpoke just sort of stands in a spot and goes, but I want
Well, I don't want to see
It's only
V.
gonna be-
I don't need to
it's
see
only gonna be-
Corey.
Yeah.
I don't need
I'm
to.
only gonna be there 10 minutes. Like I just feel as though it might help.
All right. Good luck.
Slowpoke stays stalwart. Thistle, where are you going?
Oh gosh, I'm happy to go with wherever the least number of people are going, but I know what Thistle wants to do because she didn't get to do it last time.
What does Thistle want to do?
Okay, so you remember the runners
Yes.
that run and grab stuff for you?
Yeah, there was a group of runners that
Right.
you would hand gold
Do you
pieces
have to give them money, or can you just give them stuff and can they trade it for other stuff?
Do you want to Dwight Schrute this?
Yes.
Like you want to see how much you can like?
Yes.
You want to start with a thimble?
Well, I could do that, but I'm going to be more efficient about it and just hand them a bunch of stuff and see if they can go back and get one big thing that's even cooler than those other things put together. Because I could Dwight Schrute this, but it would take a long time, and I don't want to waste everybody's time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Give me a D20 and add your charisma as you are talking up to the runners to see if any of them are crazy enough to undertake this task that you have set before them.
It's 14.
14. Yeah, you find a off in the corner, it's one of your first sort of genasi. You see a water genasi who seems quite amiable, and he seems up for the task. It seems like he was a little bored. There you go, Bad Horse. You get it. It seems like a little bored. What items are you handing?
Well, now that I know I can get away with it, okay. I'm gonna play hard. There's some good stuff here.
Okay.
There's some good stuff. Okay, the Affluent Adventurers box.
You're giving him a box?
Oh
no. Okay.
Because I had a lot of fun with it. I made a lot of money off it. I'm ready to have something new to play with. All right, and the Giggling Dagger that I haven't used yet, but that's okay.
Audience members, audience, anybody watching, if you want to turn up your speakers, you can hear my heart breaking.
Oh, it doesn't have to be the Adventurers box then.
Fine. No, it's
I've used the Grandma's Totem now, so let's get something else. So Grandma's Totem, Giggling Dagger, Affluent Adventurers box, and 11 mustaches. I'm gonna have 3 left.
11?
It's easier to keep track of.
11
mustaches. I'm gonna have 3 mustaches left that I can use. Well.
Arlen is confused as he goes, can you give me a basic sort of like breakdown of what it is you are looking to trade up for?
Oh, okay. Something interesting, something unusual.
Interesting, unusual.
Something magical.
You're about to get Audrey too.
Something with many potential applications.
Oh.
A Swiss Army plant.
A Swiss Army plant.
A Swiss Army plant.
And I can go off and do other stuff, and you can get back to the, like, we can meet here later if that's okay.
Okay.
Because I know this whole process might take a while, and I can go off and do other things and then come back in your
As he cradles the things that you've given him, he's like, yes, thank you. I will come back as fast as I can. And
Swiss Army plant.
he goes running off trying to sell these items. Okay.
I'll give you a good tip.
Okay.
I give Des my the vial of Yasborg's potions in case Corey wants to take another sip.
Got it. Okay.
I got that.
Cool. Let's
tell me what it does. If it's cool.
Let's do this. As Arlen runs off with these bunch of items, and Meeks is a little taken aback, and you see that she's kind of just standing next to Slowpoke. She's like, I think I'm seeing a pattern. And you know, Slowpoke and Thistle, you're like, open your eyes, and she's like, nope, the pattern's gone. As she begins to study the people and look for a break in the action, Cal and Clip, you head over towards the shop that has that is the secret front for V. The two shops next to it have changed. Next to one is what looks to be a club, and you hear the faint sounds of laughter coming from the club. And it's called The Potato is Just an Illusion. It is a comedy club frequented by illusionists, diviners, and enchanters. Patrons dine, drink, and listen to wizards from the local guild tell bad comedy.
We have 20 minutes.
Chromatic Camaro! Welcome.
I don't have time for this.
We're doing a little bit of shopping. Thank you for the raid, gang. You guys are the best. But you very quickly make your way inside after spending a few minutes outside of The Potato is Just an Illusion. Getting some laughs in. And you head inside, and inside you are greeted by Bubbies. Bubbies, who's
Pet the dog, ring the bell.
Yeah. You unfortunately mess that up and punch the dog and pet the bell, and it's terrible for everyone involved. But
With the hook on my hand.
Oh
Clip manages to pet the dog and ring the bell.
no! Thank you.
You are led into the seedy underbelly that exists. It's another odd-looking clientele, but sure enough, sitting in his normal spot, you recognize V, who is not sleeping this particular time, but instead looks like he's engaged in conversation with an odd-looking man with a dark hood over his head. His back is turned to you.
Cal is just gonna I'm just go ahead.
I'm gonna lean over and be like, I'm gonna let you do all the talking.
Cool. He's just gonna sit down next to the guy with the hood.
The conversation abruptly stops as V looks at you. The man nods in your direction and then disappears in a puff of smoke. V looks down and says, well, you just ruined a conversation, but here you are.
Yeah, I am. You like money, right?
You have my attention.
You're gonna lose a lot of it soon if you don't help out.
Are you threatening me? Are you just really bad at it?
I wouldn't threaten you. This entire city is gonna be a feeding ground here soon. And every person who gives you protection money, every shop that might give you something off the side, is going to get wiped out here soon.
Do you have proof of this claim, or am I just supposed to take your word for it?
I can take you to it.
You can take me to the threat.
There is a huge creature under this town right now.
How huge?
I'm gonna look around to see if anyone's paying attention to us.
Literally everyone.
Oh god.
As
Cal takes his pistol and just like, everyone go back to what you're doing. Bang.
Intimidation check.
Huh?
Intimidation check.
I could use an advantage.
He got real excited.
Not 20.
Everybody turn around. Boom. And as that happens, everybody just goes and turns back to their. Anyway, I says to Mabel, I says, they just go back to their conversations. He looks at you and he goes, giant creature.
Huge.
Underneath the town.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna die.
Pretty much.
But you know how to stop it.
Well, that's what we're working on.
You don't know how to stop it.
Do you know how to take over a city in a day? You do it bit by bit. You take it when they're ready.
Tell you what, kid.
You've got a risk. You could take what I say, and the fact that we've already helped you with Dimitri, and you take it at face value, and take a risk, or you can let this slide and lose everything.
Cal, he pulls out a very familiar-looking coin.
Of course he does.
and he's gonna go call it.
Heads.
He reaches into his bag at his side and pulls out what looks to be an ordinary-looking diamond.
Mm-hmm.
He hands it to you after bringing it up to his mouth and whispering a few arcane words into it. There's a little flash of light, and he hands the diamond to you. He goes, if you find this thing, crush the diamond.
Okay.
I want proof before I start investing my time, energy, and people into it.
That's fair.
You've got a pass to go underneath the shops into the undertown for 24 hours.
That's all we need.
Anybody gives you any shit, you tell them I sent you.
Okay. You take it down.
Get the hell out. Yeah, he's like looking at you and he's just like, you just shot up my ceiling. That was my favorite part of the ceiling. The place you.
There's a card up there.
And he kind of shuffles you out.
And Cal's just gonna go right back to the ship. Like, we got what we needed. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go in the ship.
We gotta get Slowpoke. He's sitting there.
No, Slowpoke is in the center square where
Okay, so let's go.
So yeah, back there. Des, you go ahead to Corey, the little alchemist buddy that you made before. Corey's shop is a little bit more crowded this time. You see that the people in the area have started to flock towards it. Just a tiny bit more, but as you make your way forward, Corey comes out, but he is no longer wearing the poor clothes of a destitute lizard man. Corey is now wearing the opulent clothes of a less than destitute lizard man. He's actually wearing a shirt this time, and as a shirt this time. Not just his little reptilian skin. He got a shirt. He's upgraded. But Des, as you come close, he's like, "Guys, hi!" And he like rushes over and like hugs you around the waist. And as he does, there is a fluttering of lizards from underneath the shirt that sort of wrap around you as well. And from the back of the shop, you hear.
Good. I miss that guy.
What brings you back? I'm fine. Ever since the shop next door closed, people are coming here for a lot of their alchemist needs and things of that sort.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for me too.
That's good. It's good to be happy for yourself. I'm here because we're adventuring and working and everything. I know that you're such a great expert on this town. Do you know anything about what's underneath this place?
You're talking about Undertown.
Undertown. Have you ever been to Undertown before?
No. This town is sort of built on top of the bodies of past buildings.
Okay.
We never really deconstruct them. We just sort of push them down, and they kind of sink into the mud. And we keep building upwards. But some of the more unsavory shops, a little behind the scenes stuff, are down below, underneath the city.
And you've never been down there before?
No, I don't want to die.
You don't want to...
Die.
Die? Oh, so it's like seedy business down there.
Yeah, there's lots of weird stuff that lives down there. And that says a lot coming from me.
Do you know how far down it goes?
My preferred measurements.
I completely understand.
Sorry, I wish I could be more help.
No, it's okay. Listen.
Yeah.
My group and I, we're planning on doing a little bit of sneaking around. Do you have any potions that are good for stealth or are good for any combat situations?
I have a couple that you might like. It just depends on what you're looking for. There's three I think that are kind of cool. There's one that's a little bit of like experimental. But the other two are somewhat ordinary, and he goes over
all three.
All three. This one is a traditional invisibility potion. It kind of works like the spell, if you've ever cast that, so it'll just turn someone invisible. This one only works if you're in the dark. And he goes over and hands you like a cloudy gray potion. He's like, this prevents light from sticking to you. So if it's kind of dark outside, even if someone has a light or they have dark vision, they'll just see a moving shadow. So if you're outside on a sunny day, it's not going to work as well. But if you're headed where I think you're headed, this is going to be one that could probably work. It's just not going to be as high-tech as being completely invisible. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and the third one. Where'd I put it?
the giant Komodo dragon in the back sticks his tongue out, and the potion rolls out of his tongue. He goes, yes, the thing I've been working on. This was actually influenced by Yasborg. Some lizards have a ability to camouflage themselves. This doesn't turn you invisible. It just has you look like the background that your back is pressed up against.
It gives you hollow panels.
Chameleon.
So yeah, like a chameleon.
Like a chameleon.
Yeah.
How much does this one cost, and how much does the darkness one cost?
The invisibility potion is going to be like 600 gold. The darkness one is going to be 400 gold. The experimental one, I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. So, 300 gold and a field report?
And a 300 gold and a, sorry, audio.
Field report. You come back and let me know how it worked.
Sounds good. I'll take the 300 gold one.
Okay. Do you happen to have any more of Yasborg's potion bottles? Because I'd be happy to trade.
Have you drank from your Yasborg potion today?
No.
No? You should do that soon.
I can't.
You can't?
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
I traded it.
You drained it?
No, I traded it.
Traded it. I see. I'll give you a drink from this Yasborg potion bottle, but it's not mine. It's my friend's.
Okay.
And then when I come back for the field report, I'll ask him if he's willing to part ways with it.
That would be great. Thank you.
But could I have the darkness potion in exchange for the drink?
Yeah, I'll give you the darkness potion, and I'll knock 100 gold off of the chameleon one, so just 200.
That's perfect.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a D100, Des.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, no.
That'll be a
Please
one.
don't kill him.
A 41.
Mhm.
Roll a D6 for me, Des.
6.
Corey shrinks down to the size of an ant for 6 minutes and just spends the entire time running away from the group of lizards who now view him as lunch that are chasing after him.
I pick him up and I put him on a counter.
After the 6 minutes go by, the big guy in the back's coming forward and it's just like.
No.
Someone please clip that.
No. 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 Is there a water spritzer?
Yeah.
Use Furia blows, flick him right on the nose, back up.
Yeah. And after the 6 minutes go by, Corey manifests in the space. And
So how much do I owe you?
200 gold.
200. There you go.
Okay. And he hands you the potions, and he also sends you he hands you a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And the piece of paper, do you look at it?
Yes.
It looks like a contract of not tracking you down, signed by Dimitri.
Nope.
It is a contract of like the debt is paid.
Okay. I'm definitely going to show that to the group as soon as we catch up together.
Des, as you walk away and you head towards the group, give me an insight check.
That'll be a 16.
I would say you were able to put together who he sold his Yasborg's potion bottle to and why.
Oh.
Oh no!
You guys head back all together, and as you do, I think we have to have that moment in the television show or the movie where like everybody stands in a spot and just meets up together. Oh God! You give me. That's right. You were trading all your stuff. Give me 2 D20s.
Okay.
Come on, Swiss Army.
Add your charisma to both.
Well, one of them's a nat 1.
Don't add it to that one.
Okay. Wolfgren, if you're on, that was on yours.
Actually, what's your spellcasting ability modifier? Wisdom.
Yeah.
Add your wisdom to this.
Okay. 4. So
Plus
that's
your proficiency.
Oh, okay. 19, 20, 21.
21.
A 21 and a nat 1. Yeah.
22.
Okay.
That's like a 21 and an ace. I mean, isn't that like in poker or blackjack or something?
You know
that's
what?
A really good thing.
The items that you set forth and the words that you used were interesting.
Yeah.
Magical.
Yeah.
Unique.
Yeah. All of those are adjectives.
This sounds like a Swiss Army plant to me.
Really does.
It is not a Swiss Army plant.
Oh my god, I still have that Pokemon plant.
Audie. I want to clip that. It's not that. Did you just trade your items?
Like to water that.
You see him come back. None of your items are in his hand, but instead, clutched in his hand is a simple wooden box. Looks to be shoebox sized. And he goes, it took all of the items and it took some clever haggling on my part, but I think I found an item that fits all of your wants.
Oh no.
Thanks. What is it?
I don't know.
He opens the box to reveal a simple oil lamp. It's bronzed.
Oh no.
I can show you the.
What's it do?
He goes, supposedly there's a djinn inside.
Oh god. No.
However, djinn are fickle creatures. This djinn has world-altering capabilities, but you have to be very careful how you word the wish. Because a djinn's only goal is to take something that you wish for and twist it ever so slightly so that you get the letter of the law of your wish. So you have to be more clever than the djinn inside. The shopkeeper that sold it to me was a very odd-looking man and seems to have wished for something that went horribly wrong. His body was covered in hair except for the top of his head.
I wish I had hair.
One of the Never Boys told me a story about a monkey's paw once.
Somebody hands the box to you.
Thank you. I give him an extra 15 gold for his wonderful help.
He takes the 15
as I cross all those other things off my list.
He takes the 15 gold and runs away as fast as he can.
It's another advertisement, Jin.
Shh, Cal. Shh. Welcome to Crazy Al's Gin House. We got gin. We got lots of gin. Not the alcoholic drink, just the creature.
Oh. But what about the drink?
No, we don't serve alcohol here.
Can I wish for the drink?
Could. Are Slowpoke and Des just being really still, or did they freeze?
No, I think they froze.
Oh, God, no. Okay. I just wanted to double check, so we'll get them back here in a second.
Or use the gin to wish for gin.
You can't.
Oh, there they go.
We're back.
We're back. Okay, there they go.
So, heroes, you've done a bit of reconnaissance.
What'd you guys find? We've been here so far. What did you find?
I have 2 potions. We're supposed to head to the under town.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a V. We have permission to go down to the Undertown. And we have his interest to help. So it looks like
That's
we're
good.
beneficial on both parts.
I think Slowpoke and I are getting better at curling. That's my
You got
report.
any Windows this time?
1.
Windows? Oh.
Hey, Des.
Yeah?
You probably didn't mean to. But when you said, well, if you were at that meeting, you would have known, that kind of hurt a bit.
That was my intention.
I'm sure it wasn't. That's why I'm not upset about it. I'm just letting you know that it did. And I feel like I know I didn't make a choice that you think was right, but you should still respect choices that are made.
I'm sorry your feelings were hurt.
Okay.
So the Undercity.
Meeks goes, as this conversation is had, and Meeks goes, she starts walking. As she has grafted onto an individual that is walking seemingly at random amidst the crowd. You, Cal, Des, Slowpoke, and Thistle would see a sickly green aura leaking off of this individual. When I say leaking off, I mean everyone else's aura seems to be somewhat stationary and around them. As this gentleman walks away from her, back turned, and Meeks is slowly following, his aura is hitting the ground and leaking in spots.
Like almost like fog?
It does, yeah, and it doesn't leave a physical stain, but you would see the bits of it falling to the ground like a mist or a fog.
Like it's going into the ground?
Like it's being sucked into the ground.
You want me to go to talk to him?
Meeks goes, how do you guys want to do this? As she kind of stops her, she goes, I realize that just heading off by myself would be kind of dumb, but do we want to sneaky? Do we want to try to question this individual?
Is that one of them?
Can
you tell?
That's one of them. He's connected to whatever the thing is that's below the ground.
Should we fight him?
I don't know.
I'll talk to him.
If it were
Remember, we can't fight anything here. It's neutral territory.
Oh, that's right. I can talk to him though.
You can,
unless you want to.
No.
Maybe we should follow him and he'll lead us to where we need to go.
That's a good idea too.
Give me stealth checks then, as you everybody makes your way through this area. Meeks is going to go ahead and cast Pass Without a Trace though, so add a plus 10 to those stealth checks. She's going to have to take the lead on this one.
My stealth has no reason being this high, but here we are. It's 22.
22. With the plus 10?
Yep.
32.
10 plus our already existing modifier?
You add whatever your modifier was, and then you add another 10 on top of it.
Oh gosh, she's like 78.
Okay, I rolled a 19, so plus my stealth would be 22 plus 10, 32.
You are of the god kind. You are of the stealthy god kind. Slowpoke.
21.
21.
28.
28. You guys all very quietly follow this individual as he makes his way through the bustling streets of the Bazaar. After a fair bit of time, he will turn a corner away from you all and head down a small alleyway. As you guys all follow behind him, you would see the last remnants of him moving a tiny set of boxes that are tucked into a corner that looks to be obstructing the view of a door that's built for somebody that's at half height. So like a 4-foot tall individual would be able to go through this opening fairly well. Anybody else is going to have to stoop down in order to get through this opening to a set of stairs that's clipped. Yeah, she's going to have to stoop a little bit. Stoop-a-doop as you're going to make your way down the stairs. Here I go again.
I'm gonna have to army code on this.
Hat's going back on.
Okay, what are you disguising yourself as?
Just back to human.
Human form. Okay.
Regular dude, bro. And he's gonna go and follow the dude.
I need a marching order, please.
I want to establish that Scritch and Scratch are with me.
Scritch and Scratch are with you.
I'm gonna be behind Cal.
Cal. Followed by Clip.
I'll go.
Followed by Slowpoke. Followed by Dez.
I'll take the rear.
No.
No?
Thistle. Followed by Meeks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
My hand is on like the pummel of like the pistol right now. Just
You head
on alert.
you head down this group of stairs. After a bit of time, the sights and sounds, this constantly moving sounds of life that seem to permeate the bazaar begin to fade into the background and settle in as a background hum. The smell of mildew hits you first as you begin to descend down these stairs. After a fair bit of walking, where it seems like an unearthly amount of time to be walking down these stairs, you don't run into anybody coming up the stairs. You don't actually run into anybody that's headed down the stairs as these stairs begin to twist and turn. However, after a bit of time, the smell of mildew gives way to a more pleasant smell of dirt, unearthed. It's the smell of dirt after a fresh rain. Do you know what I mean? As you begin to go down these wooden steps, all abruptly the wooden steps are replaced with carved stone steps, belaying the age of the space that you are walking in as much older than the one that is up above you. You find yourselves in a large cavern. The cavern has an interesting feature to it where it has the jutting bits of rock. You see stalactites and stalagmites scattered around the cavern. However, you see the dead remains of the previous bazaar. Shacks and stores and bits of wood that it looks like the bazaar that you left has been built on top of this corpse. Not only do you see this, but amidst all of these bits of fallen shacks and fallen shops, you see the bones of an incredibly large beast. It is from what you can see. Give me perception checks, gang, as you see individuals milling about in this space, little bits of lantern lights. You're trying to get your bearings. Thistle.
14.
14. Clip.
15.
Cal.
19.
19. Des.
7.
7. Slowpoke.
13.
13. Anybody at 15 and up, as you're looking around, you notice that it's a giant rib cage. I say giant, the entirety of this area looks like it was built within the rib cage of a creature or beast insanely large. Okay? The little shops, some of them have tiny lights on them that are illuminating the small walkways that are outside. The individuals that are in this space seem to be engaged in
trade as you hear the clinking of coins, but many of the materials that are bought are hidden away, are tucked in cloaks as these trades are met. There doesn't seem to be any sort of guard presence here. And all of these individuals seem to be shrouded in a thin layer of darkness, which they prefer. What would you like to do?
I'm just trying to continue on following the one gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
The gentleman that you saw before is walking down the road. It's going to get a little bit harder to spot him as the lights in this area begin to dim.
Can I have Scritch pace him, and that way I can keep track of where he is? Because a rat isn't going to be noticed as much in this area, probably.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say as you're familiar, you send Scritch quickly racing off. This is a clever idea. As Scritch can give off little like squeaks and sounds to draw you guys to his direction. The walking through the shops, you were given some odd looks as there's not a brightness to this group, but there's definitely a sense of there's life to be found. You see the most looks are granted are towards Slowpoke and Thistle.
Anytime someone looks at us, I give like a little growl.
Clip, give me an intimidation check.
He can
Wait, they're
also
looking at it
communicate
even though we're stealthing?
Okay, you are stealthing. However, in this particular area, like there are creatures that are a little bit more attuned to looking in the dark than you are. Slowpoke and Thistle, do you guys have dark vision?
No.
No.
Des, do you have dark vision?
Mm-mm.
Clip, do you have dark vision? As a Goliath? Or as a druid?
I think it's a druid.
Druid, you might have it. No, scroll down. It'd be right there in additional senses. You
Oh,
don't
I
have
do
it.
not.
You do
I think
not.
I'm
the
so
only one
used
that
to
has
having dark vision.
This may be the first thing that you've ever played with me where you did not have dark vision.
Scritch has dark vision.
Scritch does. So even though you are stealthing, your steps are a little fall to the wayside, a tiny bit. But Scritch is leading you through this passageway. I'll say this: Slowpoke and Thistle, I don't think you would notice. Des, Cal, and Clip, since Clip is definitely growling back at people. Slowpoke and Thistle.
18, by the way.
18.
Yeah.
You three notice that Slowpoke and Thistle are the only children down here. Adult. Clip, the first few individuals that you growl at, it seems to work really well. The fourth individual, it looks to be another Goliath, who you growl at, and he comes over towards you. He's a little shorter than you, which I think is really funny. As he comes over and he's like, "Is there a problem?"
Don't need to be looking at them. Go walking.
What if they happen to walk into my field of vision? Are you selling them?
I'm sorry?
Are you selling them?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
There's quite a few individuals here that would pay a pretty penny.
They're not for sale.
Fine. And he just kind of like takes a few steps backward and like stares at the kids.
So since they were behind me, I'm moving them in front of me now. I'm gonna be in the back of them.
Okay. So
watching them.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna cast dark vision on myself. And that's important for me to be able to see.
Sure. You cast dark. Do you have dark vision?
I do.
Nice.
It's a druid spell.
Nice.
Yeah, you go ahead and cast dark vision on yourself. You follow this individual who seems to walk on for a few minutes, and more individuals along the area, along the shops, begin to stare at you with appraising eyes. However, after a bit of time, he leads you away from the shops here in the Undertown area and begins to keep walking towards what looks to be a large underground lake. Individuals occasionally walk up to the lake from different parts of Undertown and will scoop up buckets full of water and bring them back to the booths over to where they are. Some will come over and drink in it. You see some of the braver individuals taking baths in the underground lake, very close to where people are also filling up their cups and canteens with water. But it looks to be a source of water. He walks up towards the water and just continues to walk into it. As you keep watching him, like he just walks, and like his body is absorbed with water, and then he just disappears into the water.
That's your area expertise.
It is, isn't it?
Everything in your waterproof pack?
Yep.
Good.
I don't know.
Scritch looks at you with an odd look of like,
oh, how long does it take to change him?
it takes an hour.
Takes an hour. That's not gonna work.
Doesn't
But
your, like water pal has something to do with this?
I forgot about him. Thank you. That's right. He's on me, helping to protect me. What's his name again? I have to remember.
Oh no.
That's right. No. I can look it in my book. I forgot to put him into my inventory. That's the problem. That's why I keep forgetting about him. I need to like totally put him into my inventory.
He gives an AC bonus.
Oh, he's under that section. That's why I keep forgetting about him. Oh, he's my water weird. And I have his name somewhere, but it's in my notes. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to ask him to go down and follow. I'm going to get
closer to with me. I can walk down there.
Oh, I could also go down there with you because I can turn into an animal that can swim in the water.
Thistle, yes. I would very much appreciate it if you stay near me, please.
Right, but if I'm an animal, I won't look like a child, and so I'll be safer.
Got a point. I hate to agree with the child, but for once, she has a point.
I would say many times.
I can turn you into some sort of water animal too, but you probably won't be very smart. But hey, you're used to that.
I can change myself into a water animal. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh! Wait, hang on. I might have actually done something. She can.
What?
Your good buddy Meeks comes over to where you guys are. The spell grants up to 10 willing creatures you can see within range the ability to breathe underwater until the spell ends. So Meeks walks forward and looks to you, Des, Slowpoke, Cal, Clip, and Thistle, and asks for permission.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk.
Yeah.
Cal's just gonna walk. He doesn't need this.
Yeah. Cal's like,
I haven't done this in a while. This is no offense, but I haven't done this in a while. I really want to.
All of you have been granted the ability to breathe underwater for 24 hours.
Nice.
I'm gonna turn to a fish.
Okay.
That was the plan, but now I'm not going to.
Nope.
Okay.
Everything.
I need another stealth check under the water, please. Since you're trying to follow this individual while swimming, this is not a concentration spell, so that she will cast, but it doesn't last that long. She will cast another Pass Without a Trace, so add a plus 10 to this one as well.
That's a 20.
A 20.
I'm rolling real bad on stealth check.
Would me walking on the surface cause more or less disturbance? Because we're not sloshing, but we are still moving things.
I would say less. I'll lower your DC.
There. I still have a needle jacket. Thanks, Wolfgrim.
Thanks, Wolf.
That was a 29 for me.
29.
Yeah.
Slowpoke and Dez, I'm gonna assume they're pretty good. They're up there.
20 something.
24.
25. Yep. God, this guy's perception is for crap. You guys begin to walk forward into the water. The individual continues to walk forward. After a while, his legs will shirk out of the pants that he was wearing and change into tail. As he begins to swim further away into the water. As he swims closer, he meets up not too far away with a group of individuals that also have tails in the water. That seem to be having a conversation of sorts not too far away from you all, and swim very quickly to the other side of the shore where this lake is. I will say this, Cal, Des, Slowpoke, Thistle, you do not notice the same glow, the same sickly green glow around this individual that the others notice, that the other human has, okay?
All
yes, Clip.
When they were talking, could I see their lips? Because I took observant as a feat when we leveled up. So if they're speaking a language I understand, I can tell what they're saying.
I would let you, but they would have as equal chance to see you as you would seeing them.
That's fair.
So I would let you do this. Give me a perception check, Clip. They wouldn't think anybody would be dumb enough to walk into the water after them.
Yeah, who would do that?
19.
Okay, Clip, you see the two females that are having a conversation with the male. The male's back is turned to you, but the two females, the one on the right will say, "She will be incredibly pleased." The male says something, and the second one says, "We have to feed her." And then there is a little bit of a pause, and the female says, "She's taken more of the animals from the area. We're not feeding her enough. But she has agreed to her word and is not touching our people."
I quietly relay this to the others. What they were saying.
Okay. As they swim off towards the far side of the pool, they leave the water.
Are we still following?
I mean, we've gotta find us. We've gotta get an animal.
I can if we're looking for the mother mimic, then I can maybe help. I have this spell called this spell that I like to refer to as locate creature. I know, what a dumb name for a spell, but I mean, I'm really familiar with what a mimic looks like because we've already seen one. Want me to try?
True.
Make sure
It lasts for an
us.
hour, but I have to be within 1,000 feet of it.
Locate creature?
Locate creature.
Wow, I should have
Describe
been
or name
aware
a creature
that
that is
this
familiar to you. You sense the
spell
direction of the
existed.
creature's
Yep.
location, as long as that creature is within 1,000 feet of you.
Hachi Machi, that changes them. Okay, fun. Yep.
The next mimic is gonna be beyond a
Yep.
centimeter
You
of
can
leg.
certainly cast that. What are you casting it on?
Oh, I'm looking for a mimic, for a mother mimic, like the mother mimic that we
Yep.
saw before.
You catch a ping on the tail end of it 1,000 feet, where it seems these creatures have exited the water.
I sense what? Where they've exited the water?
Where
There's
they've
something?
exited the water. So, like, think big underground lake.
Yeah.
They dove in one spot. You guys dove in at the same spot. You traveled underwater, but you saw them leave the lake.
Yeah.
Okay? Wherever they left the lake.
I think we should go that way.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay. You swim through the lake, and as you are swimming through, you realize that the air
above you is suddenly much, much darker than the dark cavern that you were used to. And it dawns upon you that you are swimming underneath a large rock formation where you thought the lake ended. There is, however, another area. So think lake, wall, you're swimming under the wall and coming up the other side. To where before you, you no longer see the individuals that you saw swimming around the lake, but instead you see the familiar sign and the familiar look of a mother mimic. It is a large, large, large gelatinous being. Its tendrils snaking out over a underground cave system. There are many different types of animals that are being held here in this cave. Some of them are of different make and model than the forest-like creatures that you saw before, intermingled in with regular livestock such as sheep and goats and things of that sort. You notice a cloaker beast. If you hearken back to your first adventure, you see quite a few of those. You see some really large bats that are being held captive by these tendrils that are wrapped around it. You spot off in the corner 2 individuals that look exactly like the captain that you fought, with the tentacles coming off of their face.
To
Illithid,
Davy Jones.
2 Davy Jones type looking creatures that are being held in place with the tentacles of the mother mimic wrapped around them. If you're looking for anything in particular, like the creatures that are wrapped up in the vines of this go on and on.
We need something small.
Meeks was the one who kind of knew what Meeks wanted.
Yeah. So you guys kind of like look over to where she is, and you see some tears rolling down her face, as she's looking at the animals that are wrapped up in this, and she goes over to the nearest row of them, and starts placing a hand upon the animals. And as she places a hand upon each of the animals, you see the animal which is staring straight ahead, its eyes open. Its eyes begin to droop a little bit, and it falls into a sleep, and it hits the ground. She does this for a row of animals, which seem to fall and like hit the ground. And she does this for a row, and then she goes, this one. She leads you over to a small area, and there is what looks to be a goat, a baby goat. You're not sure how it got here. It's a weird looking goat. If you saw the advertisement for tonight's episode of Never, you would know exactly what this goat looks like.
It's Billy the goat.
It's Billy the goat, just a little less ominous than that picture was led to believe. But the goat is there, and she goes, there are 2 ways of doing this. We can sever the connection and run like heck and just go as fast as we can. I'm going to have to cast water breathing again, but I'm going to have to cast it on the baby goat because we're going to have to swim with the goat.
Alternatively, I could turn the goat into something that would be okay in water that's smaller.
We can do that too. There's going to be guardians. There's going to be creatures that patrol the area. And once I cut the connection, they're going to come out. We can either run, or we can try to stay and fight off the guardians for as long as we can in hopes that we're fighting enough of them that this particular mother mimic just gives up. And we walk out. Do we run or do we stay and fight?
I say we run, and if we're bad at running, fight can be plan B.
Gal just crushes the diamond.
Okay.
I also feel like fighting as plan B is our usual plan, which is cool.
This mimic is bigger than the last one, right? Or about the same size?
Investigation check. This'll.
Yes.
No, I have a -1 to investigation, so that would be a 3.
It's actually a little smaller.
Okay. I mean, last time we left because we couldn't fight it.
We've come back. We are a lot stronger than you were last time.
I have a bow and a slingshot.
We have a double slingshot. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Meeks, you know the plans of the group better than we do, and you were comfortable enough saying that we could fight, bringing just the amount of people that we did. Do you think that we could take this thing on?
She stops and she goes, honestly, we're not fighting it. Okay? We're fighting whatever it is asked or persuaded or changed to fight for it. I would like to think that I understand how it works. Whatever it's chosen, and especially after what Clip said, could be big, it could be small. I have seen this group do amazing things, and I've heard this group do amazing things. But me volunteering you to fight in perhaps an unwinnable battle is not my place. But I have faith in you.
Isn't it part of the thing? The thing that if we start fighting this thing, everyone else in the thing has to come fight too?
Not to mention you have the diamond that could bring Dimitri's boys. Not Dimitri's boys.
No.
I've crushed that diamond.
Yeah, Cal has crushed that diamond, and little bits of it begin to coalesce around the cave, sticking on cave walls, floating up to the ceiling and sticking to the ceiling. It seems to be illuminating the area in these little sparkles of diamond dust.
It's a freaking camera.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to protect his investment, which I understand.
Respect.
Well, we've got 2 options.
Listen, I'm always down for a fight. You want to fight? We'll fight.
Fight. Anything to help if we can get these animals out of here today, we do it.
I have a gin. Maybe.
You're right. If we fight it, we can save more of the animals, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it would help.
Do you rub the lamp?
Not yet.
Are you sure?
You know what? Let's do it.
Let's fight.
Let's take it on.
Meeks is going to nod her head, and she is going to look at the group, and the pass without a trace is going to fade from her. But you are all going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All of you are going to be blessed. As you can add a D4 to any attack rolls and saving throws you make while that bless is active. Okay. Meeks is going to position herself next to Thistle and kind of nod, and she will reach into her side and pull out a wand, which is actually a stick bug. That she gives a little flick, and the stick bug like puts its arms in and and elongates itself, and she looks over at the goat, and as she does, she puts one hand on top of the goat, and the goat begins to shake out of the stupor that it's in and looks up at her, and he goes, bah! And she goes, "My name is Meeks. Come with me if you want to live." and the goat hops into her arms, and as the goat hops into her arms, there is a ghastly roar from the back of the cavern as the mother mimic contingent has woken up,
and you see the animals once again all turn and look at your direction as Cal, Dez, Slowpoke, and Thistle see a very familiar looking woman start walking down the center aisle in your direction. You had last seen her going back into the water where she belonged, and flanking her are the other mer people at her side. As she looks at you all and says, "Well, it's good to see you again."
If we had to assign a name to this face we're seeing,
Audie, what name would you assign to this face?
I had a feeling.
Quartz.
And that is where we're going to end today.
I'm a villain.
You got everything you ever wanted, Audie. You get to be the hero and the villain. And I'm going to give you a chance I've never given any other player before in the history of this game. I'm going to give you a chance to punch yourself in the face.
That's all I wanted.
Next week, we are kicking off with the battle for this particular sect of the Mimic and to save this baby goat's life. When you roll initiative, you can also add a D4 to that, since it is a skill check, and I'm going to say that this bless extends to that. So thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in tonight. We're going to tune in. Cal, next week, is going to get his fight that he has so been begging for, as he is attacked on all sides by all manner of creatures. Slowpoke and Dez light him up as they come at you. You cast punch at 5th level. Yeah.
I can't wait to punch myself in the face.
We're going to go raid the Roll Society, which is a name so good it makes me physically angry. So we love you guys so much. Indigo Connect, and hey, are we ever going to stop saving baby goats?
Never.
Tune in next week with a special guest, an actual baby goat. I'm not kidding. I'll see you guys soon.